Ya, oke, saya rasa saya kembalikan. Makasih.
Terima kasih Pak David atas presentasinya. Sesi terakhir ini nanti kita gabung aja ya, Bu Lili ya. Sharing sessionnya Bu Lili. Setelah itu langsung Bu Lili open untuk Q&A ya dengan Yesus Hernandez ya. Oke. Silakan.
Selamat sore. Nama saya Lili, saya asli orang Indonesia, masih pemegang paspor Indonesia. Cuman saya memang sudah tidak tinggal di Indonesia dari umur 16. Jadi waktu umur 16 saya tuh ke Australia untuk melanjutkan sekolah, graduate high school dan kemudian university. Kemudian saya kerja di Australia 2 tahun di KPMG, dan kemudian saya minta relokasi kembali ke tanah air ke Indonesia. Dan di sini saya sempat tinggal 2 tahun, dan setelah itu udah mulai ditugaskan ke luar negeri, dan yang paling lama adalah di China. Jadi saya sudah tinggal di China 20 tahun. Dan disitulah saya pertama kenal dengan company-nya Mr. Hernandez. Jadi saya sekarang ini tinggal di Barcelona sudah dari tahun 2016. Yaitu saya salah satu peserta Golden Visa Spain. Jadi saya di sini tuh sharing. Saya punya pengalaman sebelum, yaitu waktu tahap-tahap pendaftarannya, maksudnya prosedurnya itu apa, dan kemudian saya bukan hanya investasi, tapi saya juga memilih untuk kemudian imigrasi. Jadi keluarga saya dan saya semuanya pindah ke Spanyol. Jadi yang saya bisa sharing nanti adalah dari segi-segi prosedur untuk mendapatkan Golden Visa. Kemudian saya juga akan sharing sedikit pengalaman saya tinggal di sana, dan juga sama di setiap negara, apalagi negara-negara Eropa ya, tax compliance-nya itu ketat sekali. Jadi sama, jadi walaupun kita warga negara asing, tapi karena kita punya properti, dan properti kita itu menghasilkan income buat kita, jadi kita tetap mesti membuat tax compliance ke pemerintah Spanyol. Jadi saya mulai aja begini. Seperti yang Mr. Hernandez maupun Mr. Merchan sudah menjelaskan, program Golden Visa ini baru mulai diluncurkan oleh pemerintah Spanyol itu September 2013. Jadi mulai 2014 itu company ini dia aktif di China, dan sampai sekarang ini 2018 case yang sudah successful case ya dari company ini sudah 300 lebih orang yang sudah mendapatkan Golden Visa. Ini dari dalam jangka waktu 4 tahun ya. Ini hanya dari satu company, dan itu banyak lagi company-company lain di China yang membantu orang untuk mendapatkan Golden Visa ini. Gitu. Jadi begini, caranya itu adalah yang paling gampang ya menurut saya, pertama adalah tour property. Jadi itu nggak ada obligation, nggak ada komitmen. Kita anggap kita jalan-jalan ke sana. Jadi sama aja misalnya bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu di Indonesia mau jalan-jalan ke Spanyol kan daftar ke Viator, Antatur ya untuk ikut jalan-jalan. Nah, cuman kalau itu kan pure jalan-jalan aja. Kalau ini kita gabungkan dengan melihat properti. Nah, jadi acaranya itu adalah misalnya 4 hari 3 malam. Nah, pagi dan siangnya itu kita ajak lihat properti, kemudian sore dan malamnya itu acara biasa tour. Jadi tetap ada ke tempat-tempat yang terkenal, kemudian juga ada acara culture-nya, sama lah seperti tour biasa. Nah, di akhir tour itu kalau memang ada minat, nah kita teruskan selanjutnya dengan prosedur pembelian properti. Nah, kalau misalnya enggak, ya kita anggap aja udah jalan-jalan aja gitu. Nah, itu yang saya jalankan juga di sana. Nah, kebetulan program dari company adalah kalau misalnya kita ikut tour properti ini, yang mengaturkan ini company, misalnya kalau jadi invest, jadi beli properti, jadi itu biaya jalan-jalannya itu bisa dipotongkan dari pembelian. Gitu. Nah, itu yang terjadi dengan saya dan keluarga ya, saya bawa anak-anak ke sana gitu. Dan waktunya, jadi setelah itu kan kita beli dan jadi kita jangan cuma beli begini ya. Jadi saya ceritakan perbedaannya. Kalau masyarakat Chinese itu mereka tuh terburu-buru pengen beli, pengen keluarin uangnya. Karena kenapa? Karena dia tidak punya trust terhadap pemerintahnya. Dia takut kapan jam nanti keluar peraturan baru, nggak boleh keluarin uang, nggak boleh beli ini, nggak boleh beli itu. Jadi mereka tuh panik. Begitu lihat properti, oh mau pokoknya mau beli, mau langsung kirim uangnya. Nah, ini jangan dijalankan. Kenapa? Akhirnya tuh begitu dia kasih tahu bahwa oh udah boleh, kamu udah disetujui untuk beli gitu, langsung dia buru-buru kirim uang dulu. Ternyata banknya belum mau terima, ditolak. Nah inilah dengan pemerintah Spanyol ya, penerimaan uang itu ketat sekali. Jadi dia mesti tunggu sampai banknya kasih tahu tanggal berapa sampai tanggal berapa kamu kirim. Nah itu kita nanti yang akan memberitahu, ada notification dari kita, baru menjalankan ke bank pengirimannya gitu loh. Kalau enggak nanti uangnya nyangkut bisa sebulan. Karena bank di sana nolak, bank sini bilang sudah kirim, nah itu nyangkut uangnya. Jadi prosedurnya itulah nunggu step-stepnya. Jadi dari kita tak kasih tahu di sana setelah property tour apa yang dikerjakan, kemudian pulang ke sini dalam jangka seminggu sampai 2 minggu apa yang dikerjakan, kemudian dalam jangka waktu 2 bulan apa yang dikerjakan, dan kemudian fase terakhir dalam jangka waktu 4 bulan. Nah, kalau kita ikutin semua itu, total dari saat kita beli, kita property tour sampai kita jadi keluar golden visanya 6 bulan. Itu yang terjadi gitu, yang dengan saya ya. Nah itu dari segi prosedur. Selanjutnya, oke, karena saya memang memutuskan mau pindah ke sana kan, jadi selanjutnya adalah prosedur cari-cari sekolah, cari-cari tempat tinggal. Nah itu sama company juga ada jasa ini ya. Jadi karena kan kita di China atau kita di Indonesia, kita nggak tahu mau sekolah yang mana. Nah jadi kita ada jasa. Jadi mungkin report anak-anaknya bisa dikirim. Nah kemudian kira-kira mau sekolah yang seperti apa, budgetnya berapa. Nah itu bisa dikasih tahu ke kita. Nah kita yang bantu research dan kita yang bantu mediasi dengan sekolahnya. Ya kurang lebih tahap yang sebelum pindah itu begitu ya. Nah sekarang pengalaman saya sudah tinggal di sana. Spanyol itu iklimnya tuh Mediterania. Jadi itu winter nggak begitu dingin, summer nggak begitu panas. Kecuali tahun ini ya terjadi anomali. 3 hari yang lalu Barcelona turun salju. Jadi saya ada di sini, saya dikirimin sama anak saya ke rumah, kebun putih semua. Dan itu amat jarang karena Barcelona itu kan Mediterania. Jadi tidak mungkin ada salju. Nah tahun ini mungkin karena global warming atau apa, nah itu jadi anomali. Ya, ada turun salju di sana. Tapi biasanya itu, misalnya kayak winter, itu juga paling dingin 10 derajat. Nah, ini seperti anak-anak muda yang kalau kan anak-anak suka nggak takut dingin ya. Nah anak-anak saya itu kalau winter itu masih pakai celana pendek. Nah, jadi pokoknya kayaknya tuh menurut saya, karena saya lama di China, di kota Shanghai dan kota Tianjin. Nah kalau kota Tianjin itu kalau winter itu bisa 5 di bawah 0, malam bisa 10 di bawah 0. Jadi ini satu perubahan, maksudnya tuh yang menurut saya tuh enak. Jadi kayaknya itu apa, kita nggak usah kayak sampai kayak apa ya, robot ya, makanya berlapis-lapis keluar ya, sampai kebal, nggak ada perasaan gitu karena ketebalan bajunya gitu. Kemudian untuk biaya hidup, nah ini yang saya bisa testify. Karena selama saya tinggal di China, kan kita orang asing ya, jadi pemerintah China kan tidak membolehkan, kan saya warga negara Indonesia, anak-anak saya juga kan Indonesian passport holders. Saya nggak boleh masukin anak saya ke sekolah lokal, harus internasional. Nah, rata-rata average uang sekolah international school di China itu per anak tiap tahunnya itu mulai dari TK sampai SMA ya, kalau kita average itu antara 25.000 US sampai 40.000 US. Yang SMA jadi semakin tinggi semakin mahal ya, sampai kalian SMA itu bisa sampai 40.000 US tahun. Nah, kenapa?
Kayak uni.
Iya, nah itu di China. Jadi nggak peduli di kota mana saja, malah semakin kota kecil karena pilihannya dikit, semakin mahal. Misalnya Tianjin, seluruh Tianjin itu hanya ada 4 international school. Jadi udah nggak ada pilihan, memang harga segitu. Tapi kalau saya Beijing dan Shanghai, pilihannya lebih banyak, kan mereka lebih kompetitif. Tapi juga bedanya paling 1.000-2.000 lah antara satu sekolah sama sekolah yang lain gitu. Nah setelah saya pindah ke Barcelona, anak saya yang sama yang SMP, sekarang umur 15, saya bayar tidak sampai 15.000 US dollar setahun. Sama American International School. Nah di situ aja saya udah save berapa? Anak saya 2, nah gimana kalau anaknya 3, anaknya 4 gitu ya. Nah itu satu lagi, nah itu karena anak saya sudah besar, udah SMP. Kalau mau dimasukkan local school, kan nanti dia stres ya, terlalu berat ngikutinnya. Nah tapi kalau untuk keluarga yang anak-anaknya masih kecil, saya sih anjurin masukin lokal, gratis. Kan karena kalau kita udah dapat golden visa itu kan udah resident, itu gratis uang sekolah. Nah anaknya juga lebih cepat belajar bahasanya gitu loh. Kan itu satu. Kemudian itu dari pendidikan ya. Nah kemudian dari medical itu sama free. Kalau kita ada sakit kita dapat ke rumah sakit yang ngantri aja seperti biasa. Jadi intinya itu adalah hak-haknya kita itu sama persis dengan orang Spanyol, cuman ada satu, nggak punya hak pilih. Jadi kita nggak ikutan pemilihan umumnya. Cuma tapi karena kita nggak peduli politik, ya nggak ada masalah. Siapa yang mau jadi prime minister, siapa yang mau jadi ini itu nggak ada hubungan dengan kita gitu. Jadi ya nggak masalah kalau nggak punya hak pilih. Jadi itu dari segi hidup. Dan ada yang nanya aman nggak gitu. Nah itu saya bisa jawab. Saya nih paling suka apa? Di atas jam 10 malam setelah toko-toko besar itu tutup, jalan kaki di Pasig de Gracia di Barcelona itu romantis sekali. Tempatnya bagus sekali, bangunannya bagus, indah, dan amannya itu. Di atas jam 10 malam, saya cewek sendirian, saya jalan. Gak ada rasa takut, malah bener-bener kayak menikmati gitu. Karena kan toko-toko udah tutup, udah gak rame kan. Tapi tempatnya masih terang, masih ya itu dari itu saya bisa testify bahwa tempatnya itu aman. Dan karena saya bukan tinggal di tengah kota ya. Kalau tengah kota itu banyak pickpocket. Jadi misalnya turis-turis kalau lagi jalan-jalan di daerah kayak ramenya kayak Barrio de Gotik, Las Ramblas, Plaza Catalunya itu hati-hati. Itu banyak pickpocket. Tapi kan kita nggak tinggal di tempat kayak misalnya kalau di Indonesia kita nggak tinggal di Monasnya, nggak tinggal di kayak di apa di Grand Indonesia-nya situ nggak, kan tinggal di daerah-daerah apa di suburb. Nah itu gate rumah saya itu nggak dikunci gitu loh, tinggal aja anak keluar masuk gate-nya nggak dikunci gitu. Jadi itu aman banget dari segi aman. Satu lagi yang saya bisa share ya mungkin ini biaya hidup. Satu lagi, saya 20 tahun di China. Kita semua tahu di China itu tiap hari berita, hari ini nggak boleh makan ayam, besok nggak boleh makan sapi, lusa nggak boleh makan babi, besoknya lagi nggak boleh makan ikan. Karena apa? Polusi. Nanti sayur kan atau buah disuntikin ini, disuntikin itu. Nah jadinya sebagai keluarga asing, apalagi yang punya anak-anak kecil, itu mungkin kalau yang orang tua di sini bisa ngerti ya maksudnya itu. Kita orang tua makan nggak apa-apa, tapi kalau kita pikirin anak yang makan, kayaknya tuh gimana ya? Jadi akhirnya gimana? Karena misalnya kota Shanghai, dia punya banyak sekali supermarket kecil yang impor langsung biskuit, permen dari Jepang kan dekat. Nah jadinya tuh kita end up-nya belinya selalu barang impor, ya? Baik dari susu, sehari-hari lah yang masa itu bukan kayak yang gimana yang benar-benar basic needs gitu. Belinya tuh barang impor, susu, ham, keju, nggak berani makan barang lokal kan. Nah begitu saya pindah ke Spanyol, contohnya untuk satu botol susu yang 1 liter. Di China itu kalau kayak misalnya kalau dari Tianjin kan dia dekat dengan Korea, import langsung dari Korea tiap minggu dikirimin susu segar. Satu botol itu 42 sampai 48 RMB, jadi kurang lebih 100.000 ya di sini. Nah, saya pindah kan ke Spanyol, saya ke supermarket, satu botol liter yang sama 1,35 euro, beda jauh sekali. Nah, susu itu kan penggunaannya banyak banget di rumah karena anak 2 kan gitu. Nah, jadi dari yang kecil-kecil begitu setelah saya jumlah, itu walaupun orang bilang, oh hidup di Eropa itu mahal gitu. Tapi kita udah menjalankan. Karena kenapa? Memang mungkin di China semua barang murah. Tapi kita lihat mungkin kayak pakaian yang dipakai kita berani. Tapi kalau makan, apalagi untuk anak-anak kita tetap masih yang impor gitu ya. Dan terakhir mungkin yang saya bisa share adalah dari segi ini investasi. Jadi setelah beli satu kan langsung saya lihat oh kayaknya tuh saya belum nyampe aja saya udah mulai terima uang sewa. Karena kenapa? Yang saya beli toko. Tadi kalau Mr. Hernandez presentkan itu kan 4 brand besar. Nah tapi sebetulnya masih ada juga yang lepasan yang di luar brand-brand ini kayak toko-toko. Nah kalau yang saya beli kebetulan toko disewa oleh orang Korea, buka restoran Korea. Jadi sebelum saya pindah ke sana aja, setelah saya udah keluar, saya punya golden visa, saya udah mulai terima income uang sewanya. Gitu. Nah, terus saya lihat, saya bandingkan, dengan harga yang sama kalau saya taruh di China, uang ini itu hasilnya nggak segitu. Saya coba lagi dengan yang satunya lagi, saya jual yang di China, saya beli yang di Barcelona. Setelah setahun saya jumlahkan, beda penghasilan saya antara kalau uang dengan jumlah yang sama saya taruh di China dan kemudian saya pindah ke Spanyol, saya beli yang sama properti, beda penghasilan saya hanya dari uang sewa itu 40%. Nah itulah kurang lebih yang bisa saya share dengan bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu sekalian. Jadi ini pengalaman saya sendiri aja gitu. Oke, itu cukup sekian untuk sharing saya. Kecuali kalau ada pertanyaan baik untuk saya maupun untuk Pak David. Atau untuk Mr. Hernandez juga boleh karena beliau masih di sini. Terima kasih.
Saya mau nambahin sebentar. Ini presentasinya saya rasa cukup jelas, cuma saya menggarisbawahi ya. Mungkin ini di luar pajak ya, tapi tadi saya lihat ini luxurious apartemen di Shanghai. Jadi sebelumnya Ibu Lili kan tinggal di Shanghai juga. Itu per meter square-nya ternyata lebih mahal daripada landed housing yang beliau beli di Barcelona. Ya, dan ini fakta. Ya, jadi Shanghai itu memang kota yang sangat padat. Itu meter square-nya itu udah sangat tinggi sekali. Kedua, dari segi education, mungkin anak-anak yang sekolah di Spain itu ejaannya lebih dekat ke Indonesia. Kenapa? A sama dengan A. Kalau Inggris kan A jadi E jadi I kan. Nah, mungkin ibu bisa ini secara detailnya kan beliau yang sudah puluhan tahun ya di Cina pernah tinggal di masa remajanya dari kecil masa remaja di Indonesia ke Cina dan sekarang sudah di Spain. Jadi saya rasa ini juga suatu prospek yang sangat bagus. Jangan lupa nanti dapat ID-nya sendiri kan juga nggak dari satu negara ya. Jadi nggak muncul nama Spanyolnya gitu, tapi EU kan gitu.
Oh ya, ini satu pengalaman saya Pak. Saya pernah naik pesawat, ketinggalannya itu transit di Charles de Gaulle di Paris. Nah, itu saya udah panik banget. Saya nyampe itu hampir jam 1 malam. Jadi itu pesawat karena delay, saya lupa dari mana ke mana. Cuman saya harus transit di Paris. Nah, saya udah panik banget karena di paspor saya kan saya nggak punya Schengen. Kan itu, tapi dari airline karena memang dia yang delay. Jadi dia udah tahu penumpang yang akan transit itu udah nggak ada. Jadi Charles de Gaulle itu jam 1 malam gelap banget, tidak ada orang. Jadi cuma kita 5 orang kebetulan yang mau transit. Nah itu mereka semua orang Eropa. Jadi cuma saya satu yang orang Asia. Nah itu dia bilang oke, nggak apa-apa, katanya kita kasih kamu hotel. Jadi kamu tunggu the following day punya flight gitu. Cuman pas dia lihat, oke, can I have your passport? Dia bilang kan saya kasihkan. Oh, terus dia bisik-bisik katanya, oh sorry ya katanya, kamu nggak boleh keluar karena kamu paspor Indonesia, ya kan, dan kamu apa kan nggak punya ini, kamu nggak punya, karena kalau mau ke hotel itu mesti keluar, dibawa sama dia keluar. Jadi Ibis yang di Charles de Gaulle itu harus keluar. Nah, jadi saya bilang tuh saya gimana dong? Saya bilang, wah nggak bisa karena ini kan apa, ini bukan kita, ini dia orang airline, tapi airportnya udah nggak ada polisinya, apa semua udah nggak ada gitu. Waktu itu saya nggak ngeh untuk keluarin saya punya ini kartu nih karena baru dapet. Jadi saya nggak ngeh bahwa itu tuh bisa dipakai. Jadi saya pegangan saya tuh paspor gitu kan. Aduh gimana gitu kan, airportnya nggak ada apa-apa, bukan kayak Changi. Kalau Changi 24 jam ya, kita nggak usah ke hotel pun ada tempat massage lagi chairnya gitu kan, kita bisa berapa jam, oke. Terus ada juga hotelnya dalam airport, karena ini nggak ada gitu. Terus lagi udah saya begitu, terus tiba-tiba teringat saya, loh, oh maaf, saya bilang saya tuh punya ini gitu. Saya punya apa, residence mana? Saya bilang residence Spain gitu. Coba kita lihat gitu. Nah waktu itu sih ya, saya tuh nggak nge bahwa itu tuh bisa dipakai visa free 25, kan total negara Schengen itu 26. Kan Spanyol salah satunya. Jadi itu bisa dipakai di 25 negara lainnya. Anytime kita pergi, itu nggak perlu pakai visa lagi. Jadi begitu saya keluarkan, loh kenapa nggak bilang dari tadi? Dia bilang ini bisa, dia bilang. Nah disitulah baru saya benar-benar merasakan gitu loh. Oh iya ya, saya bilang. Nah makanya itu saya tertolong banget, dan sehingga akhirnya ya beres, saya dibawa keluar. Besoknya lagi baru saya balik ke kalau saya tidak salah dari China mau ke mana gitu, supaya saya transit di situ gitu. Jadi itu yang apa, maksudnya itu benar-benar membantu banget gitu. Maksudnya kita bisa travel visa free di 26 negara EU, Schengen zone gitu. Oke.
Silakan Bapak Ibu kalau ada pertanyaan, terutama untuk Mr. Hernandez kalau ada.
Comparing to Shanghai, it's 40% more in the
No, my income, my personal income from rental.
Oh,
So it varies from person to person. Jadi ini bukan general data, Bu ya.
yeah, but I love to listen to that because it's a good investment, right? Comparing to Shanghai in terms of the rental, if you have property, and is that of rental residence or is business?
Both.
That's number one. Both.
Yeah, so
And-
combined. So it's like this. I have residential in China. I have commercial in China. You know, so for those properties that I rent out to people in China, and the same thing, you know, but in Barcelona I have only commercial. You know, so I sold my properties in China, and then I bought property in Spain, and then in the end, you know, when I calculate the total income from the rental, you know, there is like a 40% more. But that is personal my case, but like, so maybe like, you know, it's different from person to person, you know, but in other words, you know, I just want to say that, you know, I'm just happy that, you know, I make that decision to sell my property in China, and with the same amount of money I bought properties in Barcelona, and then after 1 year I calculate the total income that I received purely from the rental. I receive more from the same amount that I have.
So we need that
Yes.
advice. I think it's very useful because property is really that someone you have to know the local very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why like DMG Golden Millennium Group, Gold Millennium Group, we advise you on what type of properties to buy. So we don't only say, okay, I have this, like, you know, so based on your case, you know, and then on your needs. Because people, like, you know, when they buy or they invest in Spain, they have different needs. Some people, you know, it's purely for investment, and some is like, you know, for because they want to move there. You know, so of course, you know, the type of properties offered to them would be different. So we provide also the advices based on the individual needs. What type of properties that, you know, we think we can recommend to you and why. You know, this so that, and then of course the final decision. It's back to you. You're the one who make the final decision what kind of properties you want to buy. But we can provide that kind of insight. For example, Buya, we have like a friend in China, a couple, like, you know, husband and wife. They are looking, you know, at a commercial property. The husband wants something with higher ROI, you know, like close to 5. But the wife is a fashion designer in China. So like, you know, when she visit Madrid, she insisted she want, like, you know, a shop, you know, on a street in Madrid, you know, that has a lot of little designer boutiques. But the husband said, but like, you know, the ROI is lower there, like, you know, it's like below 4. But the wife said, no, I think that, you know, I just like it there because who knows, like one day I move there, you know, and then I want to market my own designs. You know, so in the end, of course, like, you know, I'm not sure, like, you know, but maybe, like, you know, with a lot of Asian families, wife win. Alright, so they bought the one with the lower ROI. You see, so though, like, you know, you give them, like, you know, I mean, options. Okay, we have this, but again, like, you know, it's based on our personal preference. Another thing is, like, you know, with the Chinese investors, you know, like, Chinese people are very known, like, you know, to own a face. You see, so sometimes, you know, they would choose, like, you know, properties, like, you know, in a very famous street that has lower ROI, you know, but they can be proud, like, you know, when they go there with their friend, they say, hey, that one is my shop, you know, on a very prestigious, famous street, but with lower ROI. You see, so again, it varies from a person to person, the needs to invest. You see, so yeah, and for example, for me, though I live there, but all the properties that I bought are commercial. So for my own house that I live in, I rent. Because I'm thinking, like, you know what, if one day I want to, like, you know, when my kids finish school and they want to continue, say, like, you know, in France or in UK, and, like, you know, then we have to move, and it will be maybe more difficult for me to sell my house. Because, you know, I have to find a buyer, like, you know, maybe, you know, also like the same style of my house, or maybe their children happen to be going to the same school that my children go to. See, like, you know, so that's why for me, I choose to invest my money in commercial properties, whereas for my own residence, I rent the house. So yeah, that's all I can share, Bu. Yes.
Anytime they make a new one, I will have also, to be honest, this moves quite quickly. So if you wait 5 weeks, I might not have this one, I might have something else, okay? But currently today, this one is in Barcelona, okay? It's 196 square meters with a 5% return. How you calculate the return? You take your, you have the pointers on? Yeah. It's a 10 years contract for this one. In Spain, you need to pay 2 taxes, okay? One is the maintenance tax, and the other one is the tax you pay to the local bureau.
We use the mic so the people at the back then can hear you.
And the property management fee is 120 euros per year. So this is all you have to pay. Okay, so there's no hidden other payments you need to do. And this one is already completed. It's already open. Okay. So this is the design of the shop, and this is the location. Of course, we recommend most of our clients to come. It's much better if you can see it. But we do sell sometimes without going there, okay? We would give you the exact address of the street. You can do Google Map, you can see the street, okay? And this is inside the shop. So this is the first one.
Can I ask quick question?
Yeah.
Can you go back to the number again?
Sure.
How do you get 500 something out of 25,000 a year?
This is the price of the property.
Okay,
So if you buy this property costs 503,000 euros.
okay, thank you. The rent is 25,000 a year. 25,000 200 euros a year.
Yes.
So break-even point is 20 years something.
If you know the brand, it's a big brand. If business starts operating, they're probably not going to move, okay? After 10 years, you will need to renegotiate the price contract. Hopefully they would be able to pay more, okay? Because the economy goes up, price of the money goes up. But again, it's just a safe investment in a way. It's very well-known brand, they're going to pay. And the other thing you need to consider is property price could keep increasing. If after she mentioned, if you want to sell after 5 years, then after 5 years you should be able to sell it for more. Yeah.
That brings us to another question. That means that as a foreigner, I can get a loan
Yes, you can get a loan. Again,
without any PR.
yes, without any PR. But again, the bank would only finance 50% of the value, never more than that, okay? And the rate, it depends, around 4%, but it depends on the bank.
Okay, let me summarize it. Let me
Verify, yes.
So, let's say I'm going to invest 500,000 and I only have right now 250. That means that I do not have the PR, right?
Yes,
But the bank is willing to loan me 250,000.
yes,
So the next time I get another 250,000, that's the time when I can apply for my
that's
PR.
correct.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah, so when you could bring another 250 into the country, yeah? Because this generates some money, right?
Right.
This maybe generates some money. You cannot use this money as the part of 250. You need to bring the money into the country.
Jesus, you may want to add properties that already have tenants, because in Spain, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? In Spain, if you buy a property, with leasing and without leasing, you pay less tax, if you have people who rent your property. So that's why this is for the benefit of the investors. And of course, if you are not living there, but you put money there and you can have income, so that will be even better. So that's why most of the properties that we offer for our investors already have tenants and it's long-term contract, and the tenants are the famous tenants, you know, like Unidental, Eco Laundry, Papa John's, you know. So for sure, you know, their business will be a long-standing business. It's not like, you know, just one little like Japanese shop or ramen shop, you know, or a little gyoza Chinese shop, you know. So this one, because it's long-standing, and most of the contracts are long-term contracts, and there's even a guaranteed a fixed period. You know, for example, the Papa John's one is a 10 years contract with a 6 years guarantee. So say like, you know, within 6 years, you know, if the franchisee of that business decides not to do business anymore, they still have to pay us the rent for the whole 6 years, because it is a guaranteed 6 years. So that's why most of the commercial properties that we offer to the investors are the ones with already tenants and already running the business. So the minute you own the property, that minute you start collecting income. And also, of course, when you purchase that, you pay lower purchase tax.
He made a very important point.
Basically, when you buy a property in Spain, you need to pay a purchase tax. It's a one-time that you need to pay to the local government. Okay. If you buy residential, first-hand, new, okay, Barcelona has between 10 to 11%, Madrid 10%, so it's a big amount. But if you want to live, this is what you need to pay. Commercial with rental, as Lily was mentioned, Barcelona is 2.5, Madrid 1.8. So it's very low. This is another reason why we originally were purely a developer business. We originally did mostly residential until we started to do this project. We saw many people don't want to live in Spain. They just want to invest. So we had to develop these commercial programs because it's for rent and for investment is more attractive. Okay. Anyhow, in terms of cost, taxes, and everything, we have a very detailed document which explains every single cost. I think Lily could share the document of all the specific costs you would need to pay and the details. And of course, before you buy any property, we will make a breakdown of the property exactly with all the costs, so you are very clear and you understand the business you are getting into.
So there's a guarantee that there's no hidden fee. So like, you know, from the, for example, if you invest 100,000 euro, like, you know, and then after that, what are the extra expenditure that you have to pay, and that's extended for everyone. So once, like, you know, you fulfill all that, you come to compliance with all that, there's no more other whatever expense or fee that's hidden from that. So it's very clear, the breakdown. Yes,
again, if you have a specific interest, we'll be very happy to break down all the costs to the last cent of the euro.
Mungkin ada yang mau nanya, kalau saya beli properti di sana, saya nggak di sana, terus yang ngurusin siapa, gitu ya. Nah, so usually, like, you know, the question, like, you know, if I own a property and if I don't live there, who is going to help me manage the property? Right, you know, so what we usually do, like, you know, with our clients, like, you know, is we will introduce them, like, you know, to the property management company. They will help you everything. So this company is a one-stop company. As I said earlier, tax compliance is something that's very, very important in Spain. So because we generate income and we have to pay the government tax. So especially us, you know, as a golden visa holders, you know, I would strongly recommend it to comply with the tax payment, so that, you know, when we want to renew our golden visa, we will not have any problem at all. You know, so but we are not there. And, like, you know, the government has quite complicated. I mean, tax is one thing that's very complicated in Spain. The government wants you, like, you know, to report regularly on, like, you know, on your income. You know, so if you are not there, what to do then? So this company that I mentioned just now, it's not us. You know, like, you know, it's some other companies, like, you know, that are professional, the tax consultants, and they can do these things. You know, so they also manage your company, your property. For example, if you have, like, you know, a light bulb that's not functioning, you know, or the water pipe, you know, or the heater that has problem, you know. So if you are not there, what to do? So this company will do this one-stop service. So they help you manage your property, and they also help you do the tax compliance. So they make sure they help you check your bank account, make sure that every month you receive the the rental income from your tenants. See, so that's why there's no worry, because some people will ask, like, you know, if I'm not there but my property is there, what can I do? Do I have to go there like every year? Or if something is wrong, like, you know, do I just have to, like, you know, spend money and buy ticket to go there? The answer is no, because, like, you know, this property management company, they can help to do all. And the fee, people ask, some people may ask, you know, how much? It's only like about 5 to 8% of the your rental. 5 to 8%, and then, but, like, you know, if you live there, when you finally move there and you understand, like, you know, the taxation filing, then you no longer have to use their service, and you can change the light bulb yourself, you can fix the water pipe yourself, then you no longer need to pay them. But if you are not living there, but your property is there, to me, I would personally think that even I now live there, but, you know, I don't want to go through, like, you know, the complication of changing light bulb and water pipe and whatever that is not working in my shop. You know, so I just outsource all this to the property management, and every month he reports to me, and he represents me to attend the meeting for the property owners, because, you know, from time to time you receive invitation as a property owner to attend meetings from the community, and they represent me to attend, and then they report to me, okay, what is the result of the meeting, you know, and whatever. You see, so to me it is a worth paying fee to this company, and then, you know, I can sleep with peace in my mind that, you know, my property is well managed, and I do tax compliance. That's the one thing that I'm critical, because we have one friend in China, right? And because of problem with tax compliance, she almost didn't get her golden visa, but last minute GMG stepped in, like, you know, and then you did magic and she got it. So I really thank him. That's my friend, you know. So after she bought the property, you know, because, like, you know, her husband is Spanish, she is Chinese, and then they have, like, relatives, like, you know, they say that can help them with the taxation, very cheap, you know, say like 100 a year or something. So, like, you know, she went and asked a relative to do that for her, but then because of miscommunication or something, they didn't do the tax filing until, like, you know, the time, like, you know, for the golden visa, and then, like, you know, like, I think a week before or something, like, you know, I mean the deadline, it's already very close, and then they didn't do the tax filing, and for sure she is going to fail. She will not get it, you know. So that's when, like, you know, I contacted GMG. I said, please, like, you know, this is my friend, you know, this is the situation and thing, you know, and then, yeah, but finally now she got it, and just a couple of months ago, the whole family went to Barcelona, Madrid, their properties in Madrid, to do the fingerprints recording. So now they got their golden visa. So that's why this is like a personal experience of how important it is to do tax compliance with your property.
I know that your service is selling, helping us to get the business for the investment, or your service is helping us to get the PR, and what is the fee?
Both. Yeah, I can show you a breakdown of the service. We sell the property, but there is a law firm we cooperate with. They will do all the legal work for you up to the renewal of the 2 years residence card. Okay. So there are several documents that need to be done, and they will do everything for you. Okay. Usually the charge for the legal part, if you want the residency, is 1% of the property you buy. Okay. This is if you want to get the residency. If you just want to invest, you don't need any of these things. Okay. This is one thing.
If you invest, you don't need to pay 1%.
If you don't want the golden visa.
If you don't want, because what the law firm does is to get you the investor visa first, then to help you get the residence card, Okay. So that's if you want the car. If you don't want the car, all you need to do, as Lily mentioned, is make sure you still pay the taxes in Spain for the future. I think taxes must be paid. So you should have a company that keeps this up to date. And as Lily mentioned, there is some options. This is not us. There's some options in the market that help you manage the investments and do the accounting and pay the taxes and all these things. If you live there, you might wish to do it yourself, but this requires some expertise. Taxes everywhere, David can tell you here, everywhere need to be done by a professional, because taxes are taxes. If you are not in this world, you are not doing it properly.
I used to also have permanent resident in Australia, for example. And apparently it's easier for us to go direct to the government, and if you have all the points and you have all those, then it's easy. And why we have to spend a couple $1,000 to the lawyers? But investment-wise, it's different. We need really a very good consultant who is honest and expert, so that our investment is correct. However, in terms of applying, that's why when I'm asking which one and which consultancy that you are doing,
Yeah.
because as a lawyer, just to apply, as long as you comply with all what they want, you also need to be interviewed, will be.
Sure. In Spain, you don't need interview, so it's even easier than Australia. So I agree with you. If you are able to get all the documentation yourself, you have the time, because you also need to go to the bureau several times to present the documents. But if you have the time, you can do it by yourself.
So
Okay?
1% is also big.
It is. So you might choose to do it by yourself. Again, you need to make sure you have all the documentation. You have the time to apply and submit. You can do it
Maybe
yourself.
I can share this. You can do it yourself, but you have to go there back and forth 5 to 6 times.
Here.
No, to Spain.
Oh, to Spain.
Yes,
You
so-
will do it in the embassy here.
No, like so in the beginning, from the purchase of that's why the very first step, after the property tour is the signing of POA, power of attorney, to your lawyer in Spain, so that it saves you from everything, and until your card is issued, you don't have to go at all. So that's why.
So it's end up the
Yes,
same.
it end up because
like
you have to.
1% times to like 5.
By then, you might be a lot more familiar. You only need to go one time. It's just this document, this document, this document. So it makes, we can do it for you for 1,000 euros, okay? But it's not even worth the 1,000 euros. You can do it yourself. But for the 2 years, as I was mentioning, it does require to go to the bureau a few times. So unless you are there and you have the time, if you are here and you need to fly, I think maybe you do the numbers, and maybe it's better to pay the 1%.
And don't forget, this is Spain, so if you go to local police bureau and everything, everywhere is in Spanish.
Yeah.
So in order to get that NIE, the número de identidad de extranjero, we have to go to local police station, and when I look at the forms, all in Spanish, not a single English word, and then all the officers there, none speaks English. So that's why if we sign a POA to the lawyer, but this is not us, okay? It's a different, okay? So it's a legal firm. So if you know someone, from a legal firm there, you can also go to them. But because we we try to provide everything in one. So we have also the legal service. We work together with the legal firm. So we strongly recommend because it saves a lot of time. And also, of course, of us, going back and forth 5 to 6 times. And they accompany us to go to the bank, to open the bank account. Because for opening bank account, it has to be in person. It cannot be represented, it cannot be through your lawyer. So for the very first time, that's why, we always recommend our prospective clients or investors, when you do the tour property, if you really have the interest to purchase, you go, and after the property tour, you don't come back to Indonesia, you stay, and then you sign the POA to the lawyer, so the lawyer can take you to the bank to open the bank account. So you don't have to particularly buy another return ticket to Spain just to open a bank account, because there's a regulation from the bank that you have to come in person. So if you really want to buy, so just like to save the cost, at the end of the property tour, sign POA, and then the lawyer bring you to the bank and open the bank account, and they help you apply for the NIE.
You own the property,
Yeah.
so it's yours.
And so mostly that your investment is like in CBD or in a strategic area?
They are the ones that choose the location, because it's their business, okay? So they go around looking for locations. This is big company, so they usually measure how many people walk through the street every day, how popular is the street, how many competitors are around, and they say this location is good. Now it's our turn to get the property, do the construction, get the contract signed first for the rental, and then once we sell it, we transfer the ownership.
You think business is better than the residential? Commercial is better?
If you want to invest purely, residential usually gives you 3.5 to 4.5%. Anywhere between 7 to 10.
For last year, Barcelona is 10%.
It is. It's a little higher than 10. But again, I have heard crazy things. In this city, CBD went 25% up last year and things like that. I'm not going to tell you this in Spain because...
And one more thing, commercial, like what we see this week may not still be there next week, because commercial, the turnover is very high. Yeah, so this is my own personal experience with my first property there. I was there in the end of 2015, December. So on the 24th of December, I received a list of properties from the company for me to look at, because that was my very first trip there to look at properties, so that I can. And then I was looking, okay, and then I said, okay, this one is good. I think I would like it, but because 25th is a holiday there, so on the 26th, I called to the office, and then I said that, okay, I want to, this code, this number, and this number, and then when they get back to me on the 27th, so sorry, it is gone. That's with the commercial property. So they give me another list, so because the companies have offices in several cities, so the staff from the several cities, are selling the same commercial properties in China and also in other countries. So with commercial properties, the turnover is very high. But with the residential, sometimes for 6 months, I can still see the same villa or the same house. But for commercial, it changes all the time. The data, the area, the shop, the street's name, maybe the same area, but the street name, sorry, that means it's already different shop. See, as I said, because not only these 4 brands, because we also have properties that are not in these 4 brands. For example, my first property, I say is a normal shop, but then it's rented by a Korean to open a Korean restaurant. So beside this property, we also have other commercial properties that is not already these 4 brands.
I think in commercials is 111, and residential sometimes you have a block of 14, so maybe the second floor is closed, but the 3rd floor is still available, or the 4th floor is still available. So that's why they are longer than the commercials. But it's not a problem when you are ready to buy. You ask for the information. That's what is available. If you move, then you can buy it. If not, then next month you ask again, and you will see different properties, and then you just look at the different options.
So usually before the tour property, you are going to be given a list, so we talk with you, and then we know your needs, and then we will propose, and then we will send you a list of more than 10 properties to look at, and then you make your short list so that your tour will be very focused, because it's only 4 days, 3 nights there, so you will only look at the properties that are most likely suitable to you, because we have hundreds of properties. There's impossible to look at hundreds of them, during your 4 days, 3 nights, or 6 days, 5 night trip. So usually you will be given the most updated list of properties, and then you shortlist which one you want to look at, so that when you arrive there, you are taken to only the properties that you have shortlisted. That way, it can be more focused.
Can I know what is the reason that you moved from China to Spain?
As I explained already just now when I was sharing, Buya, of course, first of all, it's the quality of life. Yes, I'm telling you, my son is 12 years old, and it's a bright sunny day out there, and then he came home and he told me, "Mommy, it's been a week that we have to stay inside the room. I cannot go out to play." Because why? Because in China now, in every international school, you are going to see a air pollution index, the machine. There's a meter that measure the particles in the air, and then every day it turns red. That means it's hazardous to health, and then all the children will be kept inside. And then I was looking at my son, a 12 years old boy, that has to stay inside the classroom for a whole week during the recess. This is not the life for a boy. So that's with China, the air because I live in Tianjin, which is about if you take the fast train, it's 28 minutes from Beijing. Beijing is the most polluted cities in the whole China. Tianjin comes very close, and every day we can even go onto internet. There's a air pollution index website that tells you what is the pollution in the air for that particular day. And every day, if it's not orange, it goes red. You see, and with that kind of constant worry, and I say the milk, the milk, the food, the fruits, every single other day we're gonna look at the news, about you can't eat this, you can't eat that, because this has been injected, that has been fake. They fake everything, from eggs to rice to you name it. You see, so as parents, with children, we have worries. So yes, I'm leaving my comfort zone, living for 20 years in China. That's where I have my business. That's where I feel comfortable. But I still leave that, because I am thinking of a better living environment for the children. And of course, also exposure for the children, a better future, because we all know that Spanish language is the third mostly used language in the world after English and Chinese. So I'm thinking if I move now, not when my children are already grown up or adults, hopefully, crossing my fingers, it will open more doors for them in the future. Yeah, so with all that consideration, I move my family there. Yeah, so with one property, I move on to next and next and next. So hopefully, it will give me a better return. Yes, just what every investor hopes for.
In China, many days from my building to that bigger stadium,
you can't see it.
I cannot see the stadium.
Yes.
Many days.
Yes, because I live in Tianjin in Jinmen Gate, which is right in the middle of the town, in the CBD. I live on the 39th floor, and a lot of time, I wake up, in the fog. Not fog, but it's a pollution. I cannot see anything. The whole window is a blur. It's a fog. So but you go everywhere with a mask, and I always feel that my throat is very full, with I don't know what, but dust or particles, or what. You see, so that's the situation. Sometimes it gets better, especially during the APEC, during the big meeting, because government does something with the air. Or with Venice, so whenever we see blue sky, everyone takes picture. Tianjin has blue sky, Tianjin has blue sky, because it is something so rare. Yeah, but right now, and with my house in Barcelona, I'm so happy because I'm so used to living in big cities, a very noisy pollution. But I live in a place, a suburb called Sant Cugat, which if I drive to Barcelona downtown, it's only about 15 to 20 minutes. And if I take the train, the metro, it's only about 28 minutes. I arrive right in Plaza Catalunya, the very middle. I live in China, it's only apartment. I can only afford apartment because Shanghai, the rate of the property there already equals Manhattan, London, the rate. So, in China, I live in an apartment, I moved to Barcelona, I can afford this kind of environment for the children. I think it is worth. Yes.
It's the first class area?
It's not a first class, but in Barcelona, there are a lot of areas that are still very green, like, I mean, they really emphasize, on the plants and parks. So in every, you're gonna see in every corner of the city, there will be a little park. That's why I said, come to Barcelona. You're going to. That's what happened to me. Yeah, I went there and then I fell in love. That's why I decided that I want to move there. It's beautiful and really it's for the same amount of money, you have a better quality in life. Yes.
Okay. We really need to close
Yes,
it.
we really need to.
It's a little bit over the time. So yeah, you have the contact. Maybe you can ask additional questions. But we really need to close it. Thank you all for
Thank you
coming
so
and
much.
staying. And